Welcome back to Banished, everybody. My name is Baer, and it is about time we seriously started thinking about expansion. Last time we played, we built a couple of new and interesting things. Of course, our town hall is going strong. We accidentally built a fishing dock in a position that may not be benefiting us for a while, but I'm kind of glad that we have it at least, just so we know that that's going to be a thing that exists for us in the future. Laid down the woodwork for a forester's lodge in this area in order to hopefully significantly improve our log production at some point, and that point may be approaching more quickly than I originally anticipated. But the first thing that we're going to be doing in this particular episode is expanding this road more than likely out to this length. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and find out just how long I can make this road before the houses no longer fit in that little area over here. And I'm looking at about this length, and I think that'll probably be okay. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 more road spaces, I believe is what I just mapped out there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to start cutting over this way into the wood, into the logs, into the trees over yonder. So let's go ahead and make sure that is indeed what I wanted to do, and that looks good to me. And now it is about time we actually started making more houses, because again, I'm not thinking we're going to run into any problems continuing this growth, and we are bearing children as a result. Bearing children? Bear children! That is a double meaning that just makes me smile. But yes, there's the significance of that. Children are entering our existence. And speaking of which, another adult laborer out of the education facility. That's what these should be called, man. I gotta make it sound like we're actually programming children. Can you imagine if we progressed enough in this game? What if we got to like year 235? It becomes like 2100 in the real world, and we're actually manufacturing robot children to do slave labor in the mines and quarries. That sounds like a great idea. We just let's go to 1000x speed. See if we can get up to that point of our lifetime real quick. Oh, I wish I were in the future. Kind of already am in the future. When we're talking about real life, we pretty much live in the future, and it's awesome. But let's, I guess, focus on the year 1850, whatever. What couldn't be 19 years later? Bear, geez. One more house, nearly complete. Luckily, those don't take too much effort to actually construct. One builder is usually able to do it pretty damn quickly on their own. I'm going to go for one more for now. And then I'm looking at maybe even having to build a marketplace over here. Right there actually looks like a decent enough spot for it. Unfortunately, this mountain is kind of in an inconvenient location. Like I said before, I'm thinking to myself, like, this area right here, this big flat stretch of land, this is really where I ought to have considered building initially. But of course, at some point, maybe we'll be big enough to where we can consider expanding into that and calling that, like, primary territory number 2. Tavern is out of berries to produce alcohol, as is the tailor out of leather. So we may have to consider now, once we've got this second home built, we're going to have to maybe look at building a big old road out here, maybe getting some more Hunter Lodge materials going over in this area. But of course, berries are still being gathered. I believe, of course, we can still have the hunting cabin and the gatherer's hut working together in some other location, but as has been the case for quite a while here now, we're pretty much just waiting and waiting and waiting for either nomads to show up or our children to grow and grow and grow. And now that we've got these couple more houses going, it looks like we are indeed bearing the fruits of our labor. I'm going to keep saying that word, and it's always going to elicit a chuckle from me, and there's nothing you can do about that to change it. But that's okay, though, isn't it? 68% educated, couldn't be 1% more. Gotta make that joke twice in the same episode. And Forester's Lodge, I think, may be a worthy pursuit for our very next construction project. Another new home occupied by lemon in the city. It sounds like a mixture. Sounds like a recipe. 2 teaspoons of lemon and a dash of Varsity. You got yourself a cream to heal all wounds. And bear marks. Because I am aggressive. The blacksmith is no longer working. My tool supply is low, though, so maybe I should reconsider this. Let's go ahead and put one of these laborers into the blacksmith, and we'll get that supply moving up. Check out the marketplace, or the trading post, rather. Make sure I'm not just stocking a ton of them inside of here. And it looks like This is all well and good, so that's okay. I gotta remember, too, well, first of all, I think I'm realizing that food never goes bad, ever, and they do a really good job of maintaining their own supply of excess in that regard. So that's a refreshing thing, and it's making me feel like my odds of surviving this rapid expansion movement are pretty high. Now, I remember somebody left me a comment, and I apologize for not remembering your name, but they left me a comment saying a boarding house might be a good idea for the possibility of nomads entering the area that may not immediately have a place to stay, and I'm kind of banking on that happening, so I'm going to go ahead and follow that advice. I'm going to attempt to get this boarding house underway, and while it may not house anybody for the time being, I feel like it is just a good, fallback building to have. Much like this second fishing dock, which I continually justify to myself as a worthwhile expense. There's a swimming deer. That is pretty awesome. Don't give a fuck, man. He goes where he wants. Very good. This is just a common enough thing. Maybe I just haven't been paying enough attention. It doesn't... Well, I guess he is kind of swimming. I thought he was just kind of gracefully floating. It's Jesus Deer! With the power of hoof! Float swiftly across yonder water. Yes, the boarding house. I think will be worthwhile. I've run completely out of logs, and the supply of stone is low as well, so maybe that wasn't as good of an idea as I initially thought. The herbalist has died, and there's no labor available, so... Indeed, the elderly generation is looking like it will be fading away very, very quickly. So nomads are basically a long shot, snowball's chance in hell of continuing expansion beyond what I currently have. I'm kind of stagnant right now, which is the problem. Hopefully we'll get some new refreshing thing from this guy. Maybe even be able to trade away some of this excess venison if I get really lucky. Let's find out what he's got. Squash seeds, and he doesn't want anything I've got. Oh, this is going to be a difficult trade to make. I don't know if it's even going to be possible. Firewood still is in excess. If I got myself 300 more of that firewood over here, that would bring me up to 1,600 again. Fortunately, again, my logs are lacking, and that is still a problem. I may have to just send this guy away. I don't know, man. There's not a lot I can do here. If I brought him over some more hide coats, we could get up to 600 if I brought a total of 40. I guess I might as well try this right now. Let's go ahead and bring these totals up real quick to 420, and then let's bring this up to 40 hide coats that we can make available to Waymond the Sea Merchant. Or the Seed Merchant, rather. Seems like a pretty common name for merchants, doesn't it? Waymond. How do they not want the alcohol is my question. That's very surprising to me. Usually ale is a good commodity for the trading, but I suppose these people are kind of picky, which does not bode well for me. Firewood now transferring over to the supply of the trading post, which I am kind of feeling weary about. I feel as though I may be screwing myself over for the coming winter, as my supply of logs, as I mentioned, has run dangerously low. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to do that. Let's go ahead and chop down a few of these trees right here, just to maybe get that cranking up really quickly. But of course, it already has made its way over to the trading post. I'm curious enough to determine whether or not this is going to work out for me. If I bring this all the way up to 418, I can see that I'm 1672 here. Hide coats up to 40 would get me to about 2275, somewhere around there. If I traded away my excess tools and just about everything I've got in here aside, I may be close. Is it worth it, though? I'm not sure. I'm almost there already. We already got these new hide coats here now, so we've got enough. It would be good to have another new thing. Our happiness is good. Our health is going down, though, so it might be high time we got some squash. Well, I mean, I guess we ought to do it. There's no reason not to. Now that we've got an adequate supply, so let's go for it, I guess. I'm going to see if I can get away with not giving him any tools. Maybe just one iron tool, and that'll be exactly what we need. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I don't need to do that, and I can do 420 of these, take this down to 0, and then we've got our trade. Alright, deal. Now, temporarily what I'm doing is taking away every little bit of what the trading post can get from us as far as our necessary resources to survive through the winter, which means taking away the hide coats. Iron tools no longer need to be in supply over here, but I will give them a little bit more ale, and I'm going to hope that that does something for us. Now, we've acquired squash, or squash seeds rather, and we do have one extra laborer here. Having that one laborer is not really ideal either, man. It's like, we really just... Nomads would be a godsend at the moment. That's pretty much what the gist of this is. And of course, we don't have anybody working in this herbalist shop. Let's go ahead and stop that for now. And, man, nomads, nomads, nomads. That's what I need. I don't know, maybe people will move out of the boarding house and into, oh god, the teacher died. Okay, well, there goes my education. And let's go ahead and do this. Shoot. That always stinks, man. I guess I gotta kind of pay attention to who's working the schoolhouse. Maybe I can cycle those people out and make sure that nobody dies of old age while there are students actively learning and attempting to become educated adults and helping out the workforce in the future. Looks like we've grown into a 5 cattle ranch here, which is fantastic. Maximum 5 of 5 has been reached. I'm starting to regret now, actually, building this boarding house where I did, because we're gonna lock this pasture in here, and I am thinking to myself, this may not be the greatest idea. Their seasons are going well, though. I mean, they're producing beef. Got leather out of it. Oh boy. Yeah, this right here, I'm gonna go ahead and consider this a mistake. In fact, I'm tempted to get rid of it. I don't know, we'll have to find out. God, I'll say it for the 40th time, nomads, man, I'd love it. But, let's make do with what we have. I think a squash farm would be a good idea right here. So let's go ahead and lay this down. Don't necessarily have to work it at this point, but I would like to make it available for us. So let's go ahead and clear out those crop fields. We do have an extra laborer going. This thing is still taking a long time as well. It's a good initial building, of course, to have the boarding house. But I really am curious of whether or not some people will move out of the homes and into the boarding house if they're given that option. Maybe some of the elderly folks will decide it's better that they give the younger couples the private space. That would be some very interesting min-max optimization done on the part of the game itself, and I'd be very surprised if that ended up being the case. I certainly hope so, but I don't count on it. Waiting for this to complete, of course. Now we are looking to build the squash out of the crop field, and appears that they're kind of cycling that on its own. Maybe I want to stop production of beans for a while, get this happiness back up again. Health is still down as well. Preserve of everything is just going down the tubes, which is just a freaking bummer. Something I'm considering here is maybe even taking the person out of the trading post for a while, considering they don't really need to be doing much, and instead having them as either a laborer or a builder. In fact, we're going to go ahead and move that one over there just to get this thing finished up more quickly than I am currently allowing it to be done. And hopefully we can make something happen out of that. I'm going to turn this extra laborer into another farmer, just so we can make things happen here in both the squash and bean fields, hopefully. I don't know if I can even stop production in here. It doesn't look like it. I'm just going to leave that be with all those resources that hopefully don't need tending to. I don't think leaving 1,600 pounds of venison behind is going to potentially turn into some kind of threat like the Michelin Man monster in Ghostbusters, except he's just a giant hunk of meat. That would be horrifying. Can you imagine? It'd be like this Skinless Michelin Man. Skinless Michelin Man. Oh my god. That's the title of an episode, and also just the thing I don't want to think about anymore. Oh god. Do we have an extra laborer? We don't. We're still just inches away. I think it'll be very, very, very soon. Christine the vendor has died of old age. We have to immediately replace that person. Okay. Boarding house complete. Get this working. Don't even want to have a moment where we don't get that going. Alright. Farm fields completely filled out and accounted for. I may even be able to build another house. This is just insane. Full row of homes right here. This very well may have to be the case. Let's go ahead and look at our food production one more time. Still producing more food than we're consuming. It does look like this is going to have to keep happening, and I don't know when it's going to stop. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and lay down 2 more. Because why not, man? I kind of want to rebuild this road so it's right along the edge here, too, but I suppose having that little space is not that big of a deal. Oh, man. Alright, I need to take a couple of people out of something. Let's go ahead and remove a woodcutter and put him in the place of a builder. And get that moving. I'm going to move this up to 10x speed because I feel as though we're just waiting for the elderly to die and the children to be born. And, hopefully just kind of sustaining from that point. Of course, we've completely run out of everything, which is a scary thought. I may need to get these laborers out here and actually chopping down some trees and whatnot. Forester's Lodge, you're going to go ahead and stop planting and resume cutting in high supply. In fact, let's just go ahead and mark all of this for removal. That is quite a bit of wood that we need to have right the hell now. Man, this is starting to worry me greatly. I didn't even realize how low on supplies we were at the moment. That is bad. Hopefully this one laborer can do the tasks of many and get things moving so we can at least look into the possibility of a hopeful future. And now we've experienced even more death. This is really bad. Alright, a woodcutter and a farmer are both gone. We've lost the ability to produce firewood. Luckily it's spring, so it's not going to be an immediate necessity, but still, I'm going to have to take away like all of my stonecutters here, man. This is really... Things are looking dire. I think I waited far too long to try to begin rapid expansion out here. Of course, completely out of stone again. It looks like I may have to find another natural supply, which I'm pretty sure I've completely scraped clean every single little bit wherever I could find it. They can walk all the way down here, I assume, so maybe I should just mark this iron for removal. I think they can get that far at least. It may take a while, but I'm pretty sure that'll be worth it in the end. Another child born, that's good. So our population is remaining about the same. Chandria the physician may die here as a result of the cold, but we are chopping down firewood. If only they were in realm of the marketplace that boarding house will be, which will be interesting if we end up being able to use it. I think this was a mistake, I'll be honest. Both the location and the timing of the construction, that was some resource allocation I was not adequately prepared for. Now I realize it. Got a few more logs out of that. I have the Forester's Lodge cutting and not planting. Fortunately, only 2 people are really working on that at the moment. Don't even have a laborer going on anything right now. The fisherman is dead. Holy cow. I want to take a gatherer out and get a laborer going again here as well. Let's chop down some more trees. Let's get all these ones down and the little bits here as well. Not chopping down mature wood, but I'm okay with that. Let's get some of these going. This one here as well. Just the little stray bits that we can easily take out and use for the tasks at hand. Okay. So how do we recover from this? I think it's going to be, again, a matter of just waiting for the generations to supersede each other. Or, you know, just one over the other, I suppose. The youth shall always take over the elderly and the dead. And this is full, so that is bad as well. Where can I build a cemetery? Perhaps right here. That may not be a terrible plan. Let's look at this. Services. Cemetery. We could build one here. No, we can't build one there. Oh boy. Well, this is looking like a good enough spot. We need a pretty big one, though. I am going to allow this territory to just encompass our entirety of our dead. That's okay. That is okay by me. That'll have to be a later priority, though. Holy cow! I'm feeling the pressure right now to make this work out. 2 more stone to finish this one off. Eventually, we'll have to assign him as a builder. Might as well do that now, actually, to maybe get that completed and hopefully even further eschew the likelihood of future success in our favor. I think my overall population is just on the decline. It's kind of stagnated still. This is over the course of the past year. Let's look at the 5 years since we began. It's pretty much stayed the same. How about since the very beginning? So we have grown a little bit, but we're still looking to really get these houses cranking out. And there's the last supply of stone we needed. Probably came from the quarry here. 87% remaining, so that number is going down, which is a little scary. All the farms are still producing, man. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, maybe we want to focus instead of on the various supplies of food, which are generating happiness, on just getting this stuff done that we need diddly doing. Yes, indeed. Oh, the reserve of logs is still low. We're just cutting down everything we can find. This is a scary time, man. Scary time, scary things going down, including the increasingly dead civilians. I may have to actually make this eligible to be completed right now, and another fisherman bites the dust. Oh, God. I'm a frightened old bear taffy right now, I'll tell you what. I would like to go ahead and go up to 10x again. And I'm really hoping that our supply of children increases, which is hilarious to refer to it that way. But, man, that's pretty much my last hope. It all rests in the children. I suppose we'll look forward to that future next time here in Banished. Oh my God. We have empty homes. Single parent living in that one, and nobody's occupied this. Have I run out of adults to produce offspring? That would be awful. But I suppose we'll find out. Oh, we've got dire straits ahead, but we're slipping by the skin of our teeth here in Banished. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully, we'll see you next time.